Today I was really interested in telling you about visual motor skills. So it is quite simple that it's vision guiding the activities that we are doing with our hands, with our feet. So for example, there is a ball coming towards me. I can either try to catch it or I can duck. So either of these actions are going to require some kind of motor activity on my part, and judging that the ball is coming and I have to duck is more of a visual perceptual skill. But if I try to catch it, that becomes a visual motor skill. Now the question is, why really are these visual motor skills important? It requires vision to work. It requires motor tasks. So how do we really categorize them? Vision essentially means our eyes should function well, so we need a good visual acuity for that. Secondly, we will need a good visual perception skill. So you can check out my playlist where I have talked about all kinds of visual perceptual activities possible that can help you to improve that particular skill and the different components of it. And finally, eye-hand coordination. Very commonly people are confused. What is visual motor and eye-hand coordination? Isn't it the same thing? But trust me, any motor activity that we perform using our vision is a visual motor skill. But eye-hand coordination is when our hand movements are guided with the help of vision. Tracking. So if I'm doing some kind of mazes, if I'm trying to even write, my eyes are guiding me whether I'm making the correct alphabets or not, whether my hand is moving in the correct direction or not, whether I'm writing between lines or not. It's all eye-hand coordination. The motor part also requires eye-hand coordination, but apart from that, we should have very good gross motor and fine motor skills, and most importantly, the physical structure matters so much. If I actually have weakness in one of my hands, my arm is fractured, any kind of difficulty if I have, my visual motor skills are going to get affected by that. The different kind of problem areas that one can face due to visual motor integration problems is B and D confusion, but that's not all. Any kind of letter could be written in reverse, like a reverse 7, a J. These kind of confusions of left and right can happen to the kid. Other than that, doing mazes, doing jigsaw puzzles or general puzzles where they have to try to fit different items, they won't understand how to fit them. Or other than that, there would be difficulty in identification of pictures and drawing them, coloring, cutting, all kinds of activities that a child is supposed to do, even dressing themselves up, coordinating themselves to even knot a tie, everything can get affected. I went too far. Because even wearing a simple shirt and a pant would become difficult if your motor skills are affected. I already talked about balls. So try to play as much, try to get your child engaged in as much ball games as possible. I'm not talking about juggling, I'm talking about general. Catching the ball, throwing the ball, and always try to, in order to improve visual motor skill, try to give your child some kind of target. So target could be throwing it towards another person, a game like a basketball, a mini basketball can be used over there. And other than that, any kind of ball games, if the child is interested in hockey or any kind of sports that the child shows interest in, whether it's badminton or tennis, or even playing a simple game of hopscotch, you need to see the numbers down there. And all these improve the visual motor skills of the child. You can check out my video about how Play-Doh is so important in improving the pre-writing skills of a child. So trying to play activities in sand, in Play-Doh, even making different kind of shapes with Play-Doh, all of this helps to really improve the VMI skills and also get your child interested in writing, which happens to be a major difficulty these days. Meet my little dog Brio. If you even ask your child as a fun game to try to hammer the tail of the dog, can you bend it? Or try to hammer its head? Or as simple as Brio needs to fall. So even this is a visual motor skill and also helps in improving the eye-hand coordination of the child. Is stringing of beads emphasized enough as far as visual motor skills go? It's a great activity by which you can improve the visual motor skills of the child. You always have to try to start with big beads, thin thread where it is easier for the child to manage, because thicker threads are difficult. They provide certain kind of resistance which will be a later skill. And after that you can ask them to make patterns, like you can see how I have put red, white, then blue, green and yellow. Any kind of movement based games like cycling, hopscotch, jigsaw puzzles, my favorite, or as simple as an obstacle course, which is really an interesting game to play with the child. If your kid has interest in things like pretend play, any kind of pretend play helps to improve the visual motor skills of the child, because they are doing something. If a child likes to play kitchen, they are doing some activities with it, pouring and trying to mix or stir things. So all of that also helps to improve VMI. This was a basic idea of how VMI works, because visual motor skills are in general any kind of gross and fine motor activities that a child can do at home. But check out for my video next time where I will explain specific eye-hand coordination activities which are really going to improve the motor skills of a child, along with their perception, and the child's finest skills, which are called in-hand manipulations, will also improve with that. So let me know how informative this video was. Mention in the comments below and we'll meet again.